What's up, folks? It's Dan here from BeAGameCharacter.com, where we turn games into gains, and today we're going to go over progressions for handstand push-ups, okay? A handstand push-up is a rather high-level upper body, particularly shoulder and tricep exercise, and obviously it's a very difficult one to jump right in on. You need a way to work up to it. So what we're going to go over today is the series of bodyweight exercises you should be doing on your way to the handstand push-up and how to progress between each of them. So first off, we're going to start with the straddle push-up, okay? Straddle push-up is kind of the most basic bodyweight exercise you can do to start building up the shoulder strength necessary for the handstand push-ups. And if you're able to do a regular push-up, you should be able to do a straddle push-up. You may need a little bit of flexibility work to get there, but it should be a possible thing for you. If you're not able to do regular push-up yet, then I wouldn't even worry about these. Work on your push-ups first, start with kneeling push-ups, progress to full push-ups, and then start giving the straddle push-ups a shot. So we're going to assume you're good with regular push-ups. So for the straddle push-up, you're going to start off with your feet spread apart in a straddle, hence the name straddle push-ups, all right? You're going to put your hands down on the floor, you're going to walk them out to where you're comfortable. You might be up on your toes a little bit, that's fine. Your fingers are going to be pointing forwards, just like your toes. And you're going to want to go down, lower the head towards the floor, and back up again, just like this. Now notice I'm not flaring my elbows out to the side as I'm doing this. That's not a good motion to do. You can injure your shoulders that way. You're also not really working optimally with your body mechanics there. You're going to want to come down again like this, shoulders tight to the side, and push back up again. Now you're going to feel these as much in your triceps as you are in your shoulders, but again, the handstand push-up is a shoulder and tricep driven exercise. So you need to have strong triceps along with strong shoulders in order to do it. As we progress further, your shoulders are going to be recruited more, but for the start, this is going to work them almost equally. From the straddle push-ups, we're going to move on to pike push-ups, okay? Pike push-ups are very similar to the straddle push-ups. They're a little more difficult because your feet are going to be together. So because of that, you're going to probably have a slightly higher angle of attack, which will hit your shoulders a little bit more. Also, you're not going to be quite as stable. So this is kind of the introduction to the stabilizer muscles necessary for handstand push-ups. Also, worth noting, I don't think I said it at this point, we're working on handstand push-ups leaning against a wall. As far as freestanding handstand push-ups, that's really as much handstand progression as anything else, which we're going to do a whole separate video for. But this is just basically to give you the strength necessary for handstand push-ups, not necessarily the coordination necessary to do them freestanding. So even our final version, we're going to do them leaning against the wall. But anyway, to jump onto the pike push-ups, okay? Pike push-ups, you're going to start similar to your straddle push-ups, except your feet are together. And what you're going to do is you're going to go down, you're going to walk out until your hands are at a comfortable distance away, and then the motion is the same as before these straddle push-ups. You're going to go down, and you're going to push back up again like that. Nice and tight, elbows close to the body, controlled motion, go down, touch that forehead to the floor, and back up again. So those are the pike push-ups. Now, once you've started adding pike push-ups into your workout, you should also start working on just handstand holds against the wall, okay? So for those, what you're going to do is you're going to need a good sturdy wall, first off. And second of all, you're probably going to want some kind of cushioning on the floor, just for safety's sake. I'm relatively experienced with these maneuvers, so I'm not going to have one here, but you might want one. There's two different ways to enter into a handstand hold, okay? One, my preferred method, is a kick up. Now, this is probably the more advanced version, but it's also a little less physically taxing. For a kick up, what you're going to do is you're going to place your hands very near the wall, and then you're going to kick your feet up above you and catch them on the wall. I'm saying all this now because it's going to be difficult to talk when I'm doubled over and doing this. So the idea here is you're going to start out with your hands on the wall, your feet behind you in almost a lunge, and what you're going to do is you're going to kick up super hard with your back leg, and it's going to go all the way up against the wall. Now, like I said, advanced maneuver. You might not want to start with this one, okay? I'm going to show you this one first, then I'll show you the other version, okay? So from here, my hands go down, I brace, I keep my arms locked out, and then notice how I've got one foot here and one foot here. I'm going to kick up with this leg, and this leg is going to do the driving motion, okay? So I kick up super hard with this leg while I push off with this leg, and I plant my feet against the wall, like so. Now once you're here, you can just hold. You're going to work your core muscles, you're going to work your shoulders a little bit, you're going to work everything that you need to eventually work up to the handstand push-up itself. So when you're at the pike push-up stage, I would also start progressing towards those. Now, if you're not comfortable doing the kick up, you can also do a wall walk up, which is a little more comfortable psychologically speaking for those who are not accustomed to being upside down, but it's harder physically, so be prepared for that. So for a wall walk up, you're going to start in the opposite position like this. I'm going to put my hands down relatively close to the wall, and I'm going to put my feet up and start walking up like this. And then walk my hands in like so. Now this is more of a workout, so if you want to start working these in, that's fine, but just be advised, it's a little more physically demanding. Because of that though, it will prepare you a little more physically speaking for the handstand push-up itself. It's up to you. If you have some gymnastics experience, you'll probably be more comfortable with the kick-up. If you've never spent much time inverted, holding yourself up by your hands in your life, you'll probably be a little more comfortable with the walk-up because it's a more gradual progression. But either way, once you've started doing pike push-ups, I would also start working those into your workout and just holding a handstand for a period of time against the wall. Now, while holding your handstand, what you want to focus on, in addition to planting upwards with your hands and locking those elbows in with tension in your muscles, you also want to focus on tension in your midsection, all right? You want to flex those abs, flex those obliques, okay? Go into what's called a hollow body pose from gymnastics, like that, all right? Notice how there's a slight tip into my body. I'm not arching my back. I've got a slight tip in my body, so it's hollowed stomach, hence the name hollow body hold. So that's going to start working those stabilizers you need when you eventually progress to the full handstand push-up. Now, once your pike push-ups start to get a little easier, like you can bang out a couple of sets of 5 to 10 pike push-ups, then you want to start making them a little more difficult, and this is where our real progression towards a handstand push-up begins. For it, you're going to need something to put your feet up on. A chair is a little ambitious to start on. You might want to start with something a little lower. When I was first working on getting my pike push-ups to handstand push-ups, I actually used a staircase. Stairs are nice and easy because you can just walk your feet up the stairs. The idea is you want to put your feet up on this to get them at a higher angle, so you hit your shoulders a little bit more, get a little closer to an actual handstand push-up. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with one foot up and put your hands down, and you want to have your body kind of bent over as much as possible as you're doing these. You don't want to be out in like a traditional push-up position, because then you're going to be a lot more chest-centric rather than shoulder-centric. What you want is you want that high arch coming down on your hands to better simulate the handstand push-up that you're going to work up to. So again, your feet go up onto the object, and then everything else stays the same. Down and back up, like so. Once you started getting to a chair, you're actually getting relatively close to being able to start attempting handstand push-ups. So if you're at this point, you're already pretty close. Like I said, you want to start with something lower. Stairs, if you have like a cinder block that you can put your feet on, or like anything along those lines, like you can gradually increment a little higher, that's what you want to do. And just basically add some more height every time you work out until you get to the point where your hips are almost over your head. That's when you're going to move on to the full handstand push-up. And here we are, ready to start attempting our first handstand push-ups. Now, you may want to take a little more time at the pike push-up position with the feet elevated before you get to this point, and keep working your core muscles on the wall, because once you start attempting these, it's all core keeping you stabilized while you're going up and down. And it's a surprising drain on your energy as you're doing these. And you might find your core giving up before your arms if you don't have enough handstand practice. So hopefully you've been practicing your handstands against the wall while also progressing with your pike push-ups. So from here, you're going to use your preferred method of getting up on the wall. I'm going to kick up. If you'd rather walk up, that's fine. Just keep in mind you're going to be burning a little more energy than I will. And all you're going to do is you're going to go up and you're going to go for it. Again, you might want to put down some sort of cushion or something like that, and like a pillow or something. Not that it's going to save you if you freestand fall, but if you feel yourself starting to go, you can lower yourself down with your arms. And in the event that you're doing your first handstand push-up, you may find you're not able to get back up again, in which case you're going to be glad that you've got a pillow or something there, kind of keeping your head from rubbing on the hard ground. Now, be advised, this is a very dangerous maneuver if you are not strong enough to do it. If you fall on your head, you stand a chance of breaking your neck, giving yourself a concussion, all kinds of horrible things. It's very, very difficult to do that. It's more difficult than you would think to do that if you've been progressing slowly like I advised, and not jumping right into the handstand push-ups, but it is possible. In the event that you feel yourself like you're going to fall, it's always best to just bail, okay? Don't fall on your head. It's always better to fall on your side or kick down out of it. So we'll go over that first. So let's get here. We're going to kick up. and get against the wall, and let's assume I feel like, okay, I'm going to do my handstand push-up, but my arm's going to give out, okay? All I want to do is I want to swing my arms to one side or the other or straight in front of me. Straight in front of me is obviously preferable. If I can do that like that, okay? That's the best opportunity, but you may not be in that much control of yourself. So, in the event that you're not, you're up here, okay, you feel yourself starting to go to one side, just go, okay? Don't risk things for your ego, because then you're literally risking your neck. So, let's assume that you get up there nice and safe and you manage to hold your feet up there, no problem. So we're up here, and if you've been doing your progressions like you're supposed to, this is basically, this is picnic for you now. This is easy. You've been doing this for a long time. From here, all you're going to do is lower yourself down and push yourself back up again. All the way down and all the way back up. Now, as you're doing these, you may find your range of motion is not full yet. That's okay. Notice on the first one of those, I'm not fully warmed up. On the first one of those, my head didn't quite make it to the ground. That's okay. Even half reps are not bad for starting to build a progression up to the handstand push-ups. But you want to eventually get to the point where you're touching your head to the ground on every single rep. It's going to take a little while to get there, but once you do, then you can go even further. You can do stuff like put down like bricks to put your hands on so you can get your head lower than your hands, or even like parallel bars. You can go all the way down, get your head all the way down between your hands, and that's basically simulating an overhead press with a barbell that is your body weight, which is a pretty impressive lift. So if you get there, consider yourself extremely strong. So that's it for the handstand pull-up progression. I hope that helped you out. It's a really cool feat to be able to do. And like I said, we'll also do a different video on just doing a freestanding handstand, which is another skill entirely. Once you combine the two, it's super, super cool. But you'd be surprised at how hard it is to do a freestanding handstand while also pushing yourself up and down off the ground. It's a very difficult skill. So that's it. Thank you for watching. As always, remember to live boldly, change the world, and continue to be awesome. Bye-bye.
Listen.